We have repaired the damage incurred by the tyrannic raiders. Combat and sensor systems returning to optimal functionality.
Our first hyperdrive test led to near genocide. Kharak, destroyed. All of us, all that's left, hunted by 2 alien races.
We must focus on the matter at hand. Elimination of the fleet that destroyed our world. Coming up on Hyperspace Coordinates.
Hyperspace successful. Current position and pre-jump coordinates are in perfect alignment. We are on target.
We detect large resource deposits but no vessels. It is possible that the Titan could be hiding in the denser portions of the belt. It may cause interference with our sensors. Send probes to investigate. All fleet assets should be kept on alert.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Homeworld 1 Remastered. Before we kick off this mission proper, I'm going to be building up the fleet with a whole bunch of interceptors, more salvage corvettes, and various kinds of support and assault and ion cannon frigates, because we are going to need some more firepower. So this is mission number 5, the second mission where we're in the Great Wastelands, and this is arguably where the game starts to get kind of tough. So, yes indeedy, we are going to need the firepower. I think we actually have enough firepower right now to simply charge at the enemy fleet and destroy them, but I'm going to be making use of my salvage corvettes, and there is at least one vessel that I am aiming to capture because it'll bolster the firepower of our fleet significantly. So, recall that during the briefing, they mentioned that the video from the captured frigate at Kharak, the fleet that we're facing is sizable. It has at least one carrier, 1 or 2 destroyers, multiple frigates, and numerous strike craft. And it said that Kharak's missile defense system severely damaged the fleet and they've retreated to this area. As far as we know, they're unaware of our presence and we have the element of surprise. We are now in a position to counterattack.
Interceptor complete.
Acknowledged.
Salvage corvette complete.
Moving to destination.
Research Division reports it is now equipped for plasma bomb technology. We advise commencing research immediately.
New research available.
This is the Thunderbolt-class attack bomber. The Thunderbolt-class attack bomber came about from experience fighting the Tyrannic Raiders and early encounters with the Titan fleet. Wanting a strike craft smaller than a corvette to evade the turrets of a capital ship, and with the ability to deliver a directed energy payload, research and development initially started developing a larger mass driver cannon to mount on fighters. However, initial trials showed that the weapon was far too large for a fighter chassis. Examining the captured Titan assault frigate, scientists began looking for ways to miniaturize the plasma bomb launcher. The resulting crash development program became notorious for a plasma venting accident that exposed 6 decks of the mothership's testing facilities to hard vacuum. However, the results produced a successful weapon that is technically more of an unguided missile than a bomb. The way it works is plasma is drawn from a fighter's fusion torch drive and encased in a small magnetic containment sphere, which is then mounted on a missile that can be fired from a launcher. When the bomb impacts a target, the sphere ruptures, releasing the plasma in a massive burst which disintegrates the armor plating. The Thunderbolt attack bomber trades speed for a heavier weapon payload due to the launcher and power requirements for the plasma bombs. The complexity of the weapon system also means that no other weapons can be mounted. While they cannot target fast-moving strike craft, the bombs are ideal for bombing runs on frigate-sized vessels and larger. You have to wonder if the name Thunderbolt comes from the fact that their plasma bombs are blue in color like a thunderbolt, or if it's named after like the P-47 or the A-10 or something. Who knows?
Roger.
And right here we have the Firelance class ion cannon frigate. The Firelance ion cannon frigate is the result of a breakthrough in directed particle beam technology. Too large to fit inside the turret of a frigate, engineers decided to build an entire frigate hull around the weapon system itself. The Firelance ion cannon frigate is one of the most specialized and least adaptable ships in the fleet. The ion cannon is mounted along the spine of the vessel and powered by the ship's fusion reactor. The immense power requirements for the ion beam mean that no other weapons are mounted on the frigate. Unfortunately, this means that in order to aim the weapon, the entire vessel must point its bow directly at the target. A line of ion cannon frigates represents a significant threat to capital ships, but they must be backed up by an anti-fighter escort since the ion cannon frigate cannot move fast enough to target smaller vessels.
Ready. Group 2.
Alright, so I've sent Group 2 out here, and now we're going to move them off, and we're going to trigger the, the start of this mission, so to speak.
Ship profiles and markings match those from the recording at Kharak. There is no doubt that this is the fleet. Destroy them.
Alright, so we have definitely found this fleet now. So I just want to, my plan here is I just want to bait them in. And I'm going to use the interceptors to try and thin out some of their forces, some of their strike craft forces. This is the Tricor class interceptor, the Tidan interceptor. The Tricor class interceptor is an evolved Firkan class scout. Named after a predatory cat on the planet Kharak, these vessels are feared throughout the sector for their distinctive silhouette. Initial designs put their ultra-high velocity railgun on a spinal mount, but this made the fighter slow and easily damaged. Despite working under tyrannical government, the designers took some initiative and shifted the weapon laterally so that it is mounted on the side of the fighter. While as fast as a Kushan blade interceptor, the Tricor is difficult to fly, and the off-axis mounted weapon produces unbalanced handling characteristics which novice pilots must adapt to. In the hands of skilled pilots, the off-balance handling can be used to their advantage. When firing, the right touch to the controls can wheel the interceptor around quickly. Also, pilots can perform a wide barrel roll known as rolling the gun, which allows the fighter to roll out of the gun sights of a pursuing fighter. With the judicious application of brakes, they can end up behind and slightly below the pursuer. Many enemy pilots have found the undersides of their fighter torn up as the Tricor rolls around and behind them using this maneuver. I think probably the key to this mission is to kind of bait the Titan forces, and then they'll eventually just start coming at you. So I'm going to pull them back right now. I'm going to pull the resourcing operation back so they can't attack it. And just let them come to you, because they'll spread them out a bit more and allow you to kind of defeat them in detail.
Group 2 under attack.
Hold formation, let's keep together now.
Unidentified probe detected.
They start just spamming probes at you for some weird reason.
Unidentified probe detected.
Docking with mobile refinery. Docking with support frigate. Strike group to battle positions. Strike group under enemy attack. Supporting friendly units.
Sensors
Roger.
indicate the enemy is harvesting resources. Destroy their collector to impair ship production.
Group 2 copies.
The enemy is using a new fighter-class ship with strong defensive capabilities but low maneuverability. Our research division reports that it can produce a similar vessel. Begin research as soon as possible.
Okay, this is the Seizure class Defender. The Seizure class Defender takes its name from an ancient combat shield of the early Kith Wars on Kharak. Strapped to the forearm, it has 3 spikes protruding from the rim pointing outward, which can be used to counterstrike following a block. Kushan Fleet Intelligence gave the name Seajor to this vessel after first encountering it in combat. Designed to escort capital ships, the Seajor has 3 rapid-fire railguns meant to target high-speed fighters. With some 50% of its dry plasma going to its maneuvering vents, the Seajor can rotate on an axis and bring the guns to bear in less than a second. The rotational maneuverability comes at the cost of main drive speed, making it slow for a fighter. Squadrons of defenders can expect to sustain heavy losses as enemy fighters will target them to clear a path for bombers and corvettes.
Enemy capital ships appear to have lighter armor on the top, bottom, and rear sides. Our capital ships should be issued move orders while attacking to take advantage of this weakness.
Yeah, so they say, but in reality it's kind of difficult because you need to use multiple units to flank the vessel in order to attack them on their flanks, on their top, bottom, or rear. So, most of the time, your forces almost always end up just engaging enemies in a frontal assault.
Roger. Strike group receiving fire.
Alright, and this is the vessel that I specifically want my salvagers to capture.
Confirmed. Assume combat stations. Supporting
We're
friendly
going to get
units.
this puppy,
Strike group
and
prepare
looks
for
like they're
assault.
succeeding.
Mothership. Target locked.
Group 2 copies.
Group 2 reports.
One of the gameplay
Strike
changes
group to
in the
battle
remastered versions is that the enemy units will also now prioritize salvage corvettes, whereas in the classic versions they kind of just ignored them. So that's
Standing by.
basically meaning you can just build a whole bunch of salvage corvettes and capture literally everything in the game practically. But one change is that they now prioritize them. So if you try to salvage a whole bunch of stuff, then you're going to end up losing salvage corvettes because they prioritize them as a target. So you end up salvaging much more selectively in this game, in the remastered edition.
Strike group receiving fire. Copy. Strike group prepare for assault. Strike group receiving fire. Standing by. Roger.
Alright, let's mop these guys up,
Strike group reports hostile contact. Group 3.
because we got another wave coming in.
Group 2 reporting. Supporting friendly units. Strike group under enemy attack. Roger. Strike group receiving fire. Copy.
All right, let's heat it up in here.
Supporting friendly units. Reporting. Strike group attack order confirmed. Roger. Reporting. Destination locked in.
Group 10 reports enemy contact. Mothership.
Standing by. Friendlies under fire. Moving in. Reporting. Strike group, prepare for assault.
Mothership.
I caught one.
Group 10 under attack.
Roger. Group 2 reporting.
Enemy destroyer captured.
Strike group to battle positions. Roger. Confirmed. Group 2 reporting. Strike group under enemy attack. Copy.
Alright, and as you can see right now, they're kind of just coming at us very piecemeal like I planned, so that's good. Just a bunch of frigates guarded by defenders and stuff,
Docking underway.
which is alright. Defenders are fairly good as an anti-strike craft platform, which is what they're designed for, but they're slow.
Docking signal green. Group 3 copies. Strike group, prepare for assault. Attack run complete. Holding pattern locked. Docking with Mothership.
Alright, let's
Reporting.
dock the corvettes and the
1
fighters.
reporting.
Let's get them back up to full health. And I think we're good for now. We just need to push off next and actually get rid of the carrier.
You are clear to dock. You are clear to proceed. You are clear to proceed. Confirmed. Strike group moving into position. Docking signal green. Ready.
Group 6 designated.
Alright, we now have a destroyer. I'm going to designate you Group 6.
Attack run initiated.
And we got an
Copy.
assault frigate coming at us,
Strike into battle
so
position.
let's take care of him.
Strike group coordinates locked in. Group 2 reporting.
Group 6 reports victory.
Ready. Strike group prepare for assault.
Now, I guess depending on the difficulty scaler, you can face up to 2 destroyers, I believe, in this mission, although
Group
I think
4
there's only
reports
been
enemy
one, which we
contact.
thankfully managed to
Friendlies
capture,
under
but
fire, moving
in other
in.
playthroughs, in my practice runs of this
Strike
mission,
group
I have
position.
managed to get
Group
both
5
destroyers, but I guess
Group 3 standing
based
by.
on the difficulty scaler,
Strike group coordinates
there's
locked
only
in.
one in
Group
this
2
mission.
reporting.
Whatever. Don't worry, the difficulty scaling gets really bad in Homeworld 2, so I think whenever I begin my playthrough on Homeworld 2, I'm going to continue using the player's patch, and I'm just
Strike
going
group
to
moving into position.
really turn down the difficulty scaling so the computer is not so much of a cheating bastard. That's one of the biggest annoyances I have of Homeworld 2, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Strike group moving into
I'm
position.
going to send Group 2 ahead. I'm going to have them try to thin out the herd a bit. Try and get rid of some of the strike craft. There's the carrier. Yeah, before we assault the carrier. Ironically, I'm confident that we can deal with the frigates. I'm more worried about the fighters, the strike craft.
Strike group
Of course, after a while in Homeworld 1, your strike craft become almost redundant, and to a point where by the time you're like mid-game, you almost don't need strike craft anymore because you have enough
attack clearance.
specialized anti-strike craft platforms like frigates and larger and destroyers where you can handle strike craft swarms without needing to build specialized interceptors and fighters and things like that.
Group 3 copies. Strike group 2
But early on in the
Group
game,
2 copies.
since they're relatively cheap, you can build a lot of them. Of course, that's the annoying thing though, is that you build ships one by one. So if you want 20 interceptors, you need to build 20 interceptors. Whereas like in Homeworld 2, they made the smart decision and made it so that you build
Group 2
strike craft as small little flights.
Strike group receiving fire. Roger.
Group 2 reports enemy contact.
Roger. Lock all weapons on target. Roger. Strike group attack order confirmed.
Group 2 under attack.
Standing by. Strike group moving into position. Strike group reports hostile contact. Confirmed.
Group 2 reports enemy contact.
Copy. Watch your 6.
Group 1 under attack.
Strike group prepare for assault.
Group 2 under attack.
Yeah, Group
Strike
2
group
just
under
got
enemy
self-decimated.
attack. Ready.
Of course
Roger.
they did.
Strike group receiving fire.
Group 2 reports enemy contact.
Strike group attack order confirmed. Strike group under enemy attack.
Alright, let's
Reporting.
build more
Group 2
interceptors.
under attack.
Construction
Because
underway.
we need 'em.
Turrets are clear. Construction underway. Friendlies under fire. Moving in. Strike group to battle positions. We're under fire.
Interceptor complete.
I think one of the differences we'll notice when we get to Homeworld 2 is that the gameplay mechanics for Homeworld 2, I think,
Interceptor
were
complete.
tightened up quite a bit, where strike craft play a more important role because a lot of their stats and their utility has just been buffed a lot.
No problem. No problem.
Strike craft are a lot more useful, and the gameplay mechanics in general, I think, are more well fleshed out and honed and kind of, properly tuned. But on the other hand, I do feel that Homeworld 1 has the better story.
Interceptor complete.
Standing by.
And I guess that's really what I play this game for, is the story.
Interceptor complete.
It's not so much that I really find the combat really super duper interesting, but I do like the ambience of the game.
Group 2.
But essentially, it's just
Stock order confirmed.
real-time strategy. Plays fast and all that.
Copy.
So I think certain aspects, the way that the fleet you handle and command the fleet in Homeworld 2, it plays out better. But I do feel that Homeworld 1 simply has a superior
Group 2
storyline.
standing by. Strike group receiving fire.
Interceptor complete.
Strike group under enemy attack.
Interceptor complete.
Strike group.
I suppose in
receiving fire.
retrospect, I
Docking
think
underway.
the heavy corvettes are
Friendlies
better
under fire.
suited for
Moving
like
in.
larger, like
Group two,
frigate-sized
copy.
units,
Strike
and
group reports
light
hostile contact.
corvettes
Strike group
are
moving into position.
more
Group
well
two
suited
reports
for
enemy contact.
anti-strike craft, for like
Group three.
fighters and
Strike
interceptors.
group
So maybe in
moving into
retrospect, I really
Group
should have
three
built
reports
a
enemy
whole bunch of
contact.
light
Strike
corvettes
group to battle position.
to handle
Group two
strike craft
under attack.
duties.
Acknowledged. Attack vector laid in. Confirmed. Combat maneuver confirmed. Strike group to battle positions. Strike group under enemy attack. Supporting friendly units. Standing by. Strike group reports hostile contact. Group 2 reporting.
But of course, you know, in Homeworld 1 Classic, you can spend most of the early game with just heavy corvettes, and those will just murder
Confirmed.
the interceptors and whatnot.
Copy. Group 2. Group 3 standing by. Strike group moving into position.
But yeah, as we see, you know, small strike craft like interceptors, you just go through them like socks.
Strike group coordinates locked in. Moving
They're just
while
not
engaging.
terribly
Five.
useful. They're almost like a one-time use kind of deal.
Group 6 has defeated the enemy.
Strike group coordinates locked in. Ready.
Alright, let's start moving the fleet towards the enemy carrier, and we'll finish them off.
You are clear to dock. Strike group moving into position. Reporting. Group 3. Group 2 standing by. Docking with support frigate. Reporting. Strike group to battle positions. Friendlies under fire. Moving in.
Group 5 reports enemy contact.
Acknowledged. You are clear to proceed. Strike group to battle positions. Confirmed. Lock all weapons on target. Group 3 standing by. Strike group prepare for assault. Confirmed.
Alright, say while we're at it, let's just take out their resourcers.
Group 5 reports victory.
Strike group prepare for assault. Roger. Strike group attack order confirmed. Group 6 copies. Destination locked in. Acknowledged.
I suppose luckily, one way to kind of beat the game is to allow the enemies to spread themselves out so you can defeat them in detail. The enemy AI is not terribly good at concentrating a lot of its forces, you know, massing firepower, so to speak. So almost always in these games, if you can mass firepower while spreading the enemy out, then there's a good chance you
Group
will
1
succeed.
reports victory.
Group 2 standing by. Strike group
And of course,
to
half
battle
of it is
positions.
just knowing where the mission triggers are, in essence,
Strike group
knowing when you're
attack
going to
order
trigger
confirmed.
something
Group
and
3 reporting.
how to do that.
Strike group attack order confirmed. Roger. Attack clearance received.
Of course, again, which is why I almost never do immediately what they say. Oh, send a probe here. Oh, investigate that. Yeah, no, you're going to trigger something. And the enemy will come at you en masse before you're prepared and ready for it.
Ready.
Alright, I'm going to have our destroyer, our captured destroyer,
Ready.
be used against the Titan, and I'm going to have it start engaging the carrier.
Strike group prepare for assault. Confirmed. Standing by. Strike group reports hostile contact. Reporting. Attack vector laid in. Group 3 reporting. Group 2. Reporting. Roger. Stay calm. Acknowledged. Confirmed. Strike group under
Come on,
enemy
Group
attack.
2, deal with those
Strike group to
fighters.
Battle positions. Confirmed. Acknowledged. Copy. Engage capital ship.
Alright, there we go. Once we take out that carrier, then we'll have defeated the fleet, and it won't be able to harvest and build any more vessels and keep attacking us. You notice it is churning out stuff. It is there, right there. There's another fresh new assault frigate it just built,
Standing
so
by. Lock all weapons on target.
gotta deal with that.
Copy. by.
There we go. We got
Strike
the
group
carrier.
attack order confirmed. Copy. Reporting. Ready. Group 2 reporting. Strike group prepare for assault. Standing by. Strike group attack
Alright,
order
let's just
confirmed.
finish off these handful of units.
Confirmed.
Then we will have extracted our vengeance against the fleet that destroyed Kharak.
Ready. Reporting.
Group 3 defeated.
Strike group receiving fire. Confirmed.
Taidan Fleet destroyed. Hyperspace coordinates locked in.
Group 6 reports victory.
Docking with support.
Oh
needed.
boy, oh boy. Yeah, see, Group 2 is just down to like a couple of interceptors. Oh boy. Well, they did their
Resources
job.
locked in. Standing by. Resources locked in.
Let's keep harvesting resources.
Standing
Let's
by.
build up our fleet a little bit more before heading off to the next mission.
Confirmed.
This is the Skulltail class destroyer of Taidan origin. Skulltail class destroyer is one of the deadliest vessels in the Taidan fleet and one of the most dangerous predators to prowl the wastes of Kharak. The male Skulltail predator is a clawed beast with tough scales and poison sacs to kill its prey. Although nearly 10 times the size of the average humanoid, it's still fast and dangerous to caravans which cross the desert until it was hunted to near extinction on Kharak. The Skulltail destroyer itself mounts 2 parallel ion cannons in its bow and 2 heavy dual railgun turrets on the dorsal section of the bow. Nearly as maneuverable as a frigate, 2 destroyers can vaporize an enemy frigate in mere seconds. The best way to defeat a Skulltail, like its animal namesake, is to distract it with fighters while heavier units attack from its flanks. Alright, so let's do some research on Defender subsystems, because we're going to need that. This will allow us to build Defenders.
Assembly underway. Assembly underway.
Before we head off to
Clear.
the next
First
mission,
clear.
I'm going to
Assembly
build
underway. Construction
20
underway.
bombers
First
and 15 Defenders, because we're going to need them.
Attack bomber complete.
And
First
why not?
clear.
I'll build another research ship.
Attack bomber.
Ready.
Attack bomber complete.
This is the Hub-class research ship. The Hub-class research vessel contains laboratory spaces for experiments, research and development, and prototyping of new technology that would otherwise be too dangerous to perform aboard the mothership itself. A rapid pulse maser array allows for real-time communication with the mothership's massive databanks. The vessels are flown by autopilot but are crewed by 20 to 40 scientists and engineers. Designed to operate synergistically with other ships of the class, the large research station can be constructed by docking 6 of these vessels together, forming the donut, as Homeworld players like to call it. This combined research station also benefits from reinforced structural integrity and faster research times.
Attack bomber complete.
Okay, let's
Construction
build up
underway.
some more
Construction
defenders there.
underway. Assembly underway.
As you build more of these research vessels, they will connect
Defender
together,
complete.
like so.
Attack bomber complete. Defender complete.
Defensive
Alright,
perimeter
let's
set.
get out of here.